Hello friends, it's Techman Pat. Today we are doing a tech talk video on a very controversial topic, and it all started with Apple. It is the removal of the 3.5mm headphone jack. It's okay. It's okay. The headphone jack is going away, but it's okay. Don't cry. Don't cry. Now, I have a few opinions of why it is actually a good thing, and we'll talk about why it's actually a bad thing, but overall, let's have a conversation about it. I'm not trying to sway people either way, but I want to say a couple of things about it. Now, recently I've been watching a whole bunch of videos on the internet about people still complaining about it, and even I make jokes about Apple removing the headphone jack. It's popular to hate on Apple, and then it's popular to hate on companies who remove the headphone jack. Recently, the OnePlus T or 6 or 7 came out, the Pro version without the headphone jack, and people were upset about it, and a lot of people just either didn't care or kind of weren't even gonna buy that phone anyway. But even the most popular Android phone manufacturers are actually taking away that 3.5mm jack. And it has been proven that it's not a reason to remove it because of space. There's no practical reason because it takes up very little space. And also, there's no reason to remove it because of making a phone waterproof or water resistant, because Samsung has proven to be able to do it without removing the headphone jack. But that still hasn't stopped companies removing it altogether. Now, a couple of things about the 3.5mm jack. Let's talk about the history of it and see where it's come from. The 3.5mm jack is essentially a 19th century bit of kit. It is a miniaturized version of the classic quarter-inch jack, 6.35mm, which is said to go back as far as 1878. Now, both sizes of plugs have a nubbin of metal that nips in before flaring out, just before the tip. It's needed to be something that could be inserted and removed very easily, but still makes a secure connection. Initially, the quarter-inch jack was used by operators in old-fashioned telephony switchboards, plugging and unplugging connections all the time, and professional headphones in studios, guitar leads, they all run off that quarter-inch jack even nowadays. Of course, as miniaturization changed audio equipment, so did the plugs, and they've been getting smaller ever since. There are even smaller ones than 3.5mm ones that you've seen around. The 3.5mm version quickly became popular, spread by the use of personal headsets on transistor radios in the middle of the 20th century. The jack is known as a tip ring sleeve, or TRS connection. That tip transfers audio into the left-hand earplug of a stereo headphone set and the ring the right. This setup is the stereo. The original mono plugs had only tip and sleeve. Certain modern plugs have a second ring to allow control of headset microphone or volume. Technically speaking, it's not a bad design, but ultimately it does the job it was designed to do at a very low cost. Now, Apple has a track record of being early to abolish things, which then start to disappear from rival products, as you've recently seen. It's killed the 3.5-inch floppy disk early. It also was amongst the first to remove the optical drive. Now, when's the last time you used a CD on your computer? Even when installing games, they come in a box with a paper-shaped disc. You still have to put the key in and download it. Here is the problem: you've got hundreds of millions of devices out there that are using the old standard. If you're using a $1,000 pair of headphones, you're kind of out of luck unless you have an adapter. Now, people are mainly upset because they like to think they're in control of their technology, and unfortunately, that's kind of false. Every time you sign away one of those terms and conditions, you basically don't own the product. Hey, if you buy a DVD, you don't own that DVD. You're not allowed to do things with it, and there's a whole list of things you're not allowed to do with it. Whatever you buy is not really yours. A little while back, Apple had an issue with jailbreaking their phones that would cause you to lose your warranty, which is absolute crap because it's my device, and unless I've physically damaged it, my warranty should stay. But this sense of the consumer in control is misplaced. It's actually the big technology companies who have always been in control of how you listen to music and watch videos. Now, relatively speaking, having one standardized headphone jack on mobile devices, MP3 players is a very relatively recent luxury. If you Think back to the previous generation of phones, things like the Nokia phones. You used to have an actual 20-pin adapter that you'd put in just to get that 3.5mm jack. Now, as recently as 2010, Samsung phones came equipped with a proprietary headphone port. This isn't the first time Apple has aroused ire. Way back in 2007, with the first iPhone, it received complaints that the headphone jack was sunk into its casing. Now, one technology wag called it a great business plan: break an important device function and then sell the solution for fun and profit. It kind of makes sense, like you create a disease and then you sell the actual cure. Like, how many movie plots have had that as the villain's idea? So it's kinda right. Apple released the AirPods to alleviate the problem of not having a headphone jack, but they also gave a Lightning to 3.5mm jack adapter with most phones bought in that first generation. But Apple is known for evolving technology. They got rid of the DVDs, they got rid of the floppy disk drives, they got rid of parallel ports, they're even eventually getting rid of the USB. I mean, we're already on USB-C charging. What's the likelihood of never seeing a USB standard port again? The B port. This is just how they act and move. What Apple does is catalyze transitions. It would have happened anyway, but it wasn't for Apple. It would have taken 10 to 15 years, but it will now happen within 2-3 years to fully go wireless and get rid of that 3.5mm jack. Well, the time has come for the 3.5mm jack to be replaced, and this shouldn't have come as such a shock. With Moore's law and the history of technology, it's clear we're not going to stick around with something analog for long. It's kind of almost puzzling that it's taken so long. So what's the benefit of using an analog piece of device like this 3.5mm jack? Well, it's just become very, very popular and everybody has a device for it. But the market will change and there'll be less and less devices coming out that are going to be using that jack. In fact, we're already seeing it. And the problem is that while you're gonna miss it because you might have invested in technology that was sold at that time to fit that actual device that you might have, as technology moves on, new technology will come out, new headphones that you'll be able to plug in to your device, or actually you won't even have to plug in through their proprietary port. Will it be a USB-C or the Lightning port? And I bet my bottom dollar that Apple will go to the USB-C port very, very soon, because all their devices are moving to it, except obviously some mobile devices. But as soon as that happens, we're gonna have a lot more choices in what kind of things we can plug into our phone. But why would you plug things in when you can wirelessly connect to it? So you can go wireless, no more wires. That is a huge bonus. Sure, you have to charge your actual headphones, but you also have to charge your phone. You have to charge anything that is wireless. You'll end up charging your car one day too, and you have to charge your camera and you have to charge your remote. Because if you've got an Apple TV, it's got a little battery in it. A lot of the things that people complain about are the fact that they're used to this technology and change is difficult. And change is difficult, especially when you've invested a lot of money into other products that use that type of connection or use that fuel type. So what exactly is the benefit of using a 3.5mm jack? Well, first of all, sound quality. The actual connection is always solid because it's wired, and that's the same argument against Wi-Fi and wired connection to your computer when gaming. It's also very easy to use, it's very easy to plug in, there's no wrong way to plug it in, it is round after all. And you can also plug in microphones, like I have this microphone plugged into that camera, using obviously special adapters, but it's plugged in and it's giving very clear audio. Wireless is the future. It might not be quite there yet with sound quality or connectivity. You can lose connection all the time. And people say, well, that's why I like wired. And you're absolutely correct. It is better. But devices like the AirPods come very close to being 100% connectivity-wise. And quality-wise, it's actually enough for the standard walk to the bus stop or to work or sitting on the bus or the train to get anywhere you want to. And if you want higher and better quality, you can always use an adapter through a device like Apple or a Samsung device, because they're going to lose the headphone jack very soon, very quickly, except probably the luxury devices, which also doesn't make sense. Why would your most expensive device have a headphone jack when the people who buy that device probably can afford a pair of wireless headphones, and the folks who buy like the lower version tiered phones probably won't buy wireless ones, they'll have wired ones because they're still cheaper. So finally the price, right? It's still more expensive to buy good wireless devices or headphones, and it's still a lot cheaper to buy very good sounding actual headphones that are wired. And there's the argument. Is the future clear? I think it is. The 3.5mm jack is going away. Now the last devices to lose the 3.5mm jack are going to be laptops, in my opinion, but it's already going to happen very quickly because a whole bunch of speakers are now USB based or Bluetooth, and most laptops have Bluetooth Wi-Fi built in, and you can connect to those devices too. One last thing I'm going to leave you with, and that is latency. Latency is something that might not affect people who are listening to music. However, if you've ever had wireless headphones and you've typed stuff out on your phone and you've got the click of the button, you will notice there's a significant delay between the tap and the sound coming out to your ear. Don't expect to be playing games with wireless headsets that are not connected properly via a very expensive 2.4 gigahertz connection like the Logitech G933s. Your Bluetooth connection is just not fast enough to have a very good sound to latency to things happening on your screen at this stage. In the future, it will change. Friends, thank you very much for watching this discussion about the 3.5mm jack and its future. Don't worry guys, it will disappear, and don't be afraid to go wireless at this stage, and I'm sure you'll be able to find an adapter. In my opinion, I haven't used that 3.5mm jack since I had an iPod. Friends, thanks again, and I'll catch you guys in another video. Bye.